David Dahl.
Here.
Mark Murray.
Here.
Colleen White.
Here.
Justin Lehrman.
Here.
Emily Stouffer.
Here.
Nicholas Andrews.
Here.
Thank you. We don't have approval of minutes. Thank you. Do we have any correspondence?
We do not.
Do we have any old business?
None of that either.
Okay. Well, with that, let's go into the section of our agenda that includes new business, and let me sort of open the meeting and give everybody an idea of kind of how it works. So the planning commission bases its decisions on competent, substantial evidence, including testimony provided at the meeting. Any person who is not an applicant or agent that wishes to speak will need to fill out a speaker's card and place them on the side table by the door and turn them into the clerk. It is our practice that regardless of the type of issue we are asked to decide upon, each member of the public is given 3 minutes to speak on each item. So 3 minutes is our practice. Please refrain from speaking out from the audience, applauding, groaning, and you guys may have noticed I applauded when Ms. Vidal came in, so that's my bad. I was just happy to see him. Please refrain from applauding, groaning, etc., as we try to ensure an atmosphere where everyone listening or in attendance is comfortable. And please silence your cell phone. So having said that, Mr. Coakley, can you please give us PC number 27-22?
Absolutely. So this item is PC 27-22. It is a conditional use application. The owner and applicant is David Plummer. The location of the property is 120 North 5th Street. The request is conditional use approval for proposed two multifamily dwelling units in conjunction with an existing recording studio in the Commercial General C2 zoning district pursuant to section 34-343D11 of the Jacksonville Beach Land Development Code. You might know this as Cypress Recording Studio. The property is located on the west side of 5th Street North between Pablo Avenue and 1st Avenue North. The subject property has been continuously used as an audio recording studio for over 40 years. The subject property is occupied by a 2-story commercial building with a recording studio and engineering station on the ground floor and a small office adjacent to the recording studio. In the rear, there is an outdoor wooden deck that was recently permitted. The second floor of the building is mostly, that should be unprogrammed space, currently used mostly for storage, that the owner wishes to convert into 2 multifamily dwelling units. There are several nonconformities on the property as well as a lack of required parking and landscaping. As the structure was built in 1974, it predates the current land development code. The applicant has also applied for a number of variances related to both the existing nonconformities and new relief needed to address the additional dwelling units. The variance request will be considered by the Board of Adjustment on December 20th. Adjacent uses include a church and private school to the north and west, the Beaches Museum to the south across San Pablo Avenue, a professional office to the east across 5th Street North. The proposed use of multifamily is consistent with the C2 zoning standards and is consistent with the surrounding commercial and institutional development. Based on the provided application and analysis stated in the staff report, the Planning and Development Department recommends approval of PC 27-22.
Thank you, Mr. Coakley. As a reminder, each member of the public will be given 3 minutes to speak when we open the public hearing. My fellow commissioners, does any board member have any ex parte communication to disclose on this item? Hearing none. Would the applicant please come forward to be sworn in and give any presentation that they present?
You can get ready to go again. Please raise your right hand and state your name and address.
David Plummer, 121 Fifth Street, Jacksonville Beach, Florida.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So, I'm David Plummer. Good number of y'all probably knew my father, who passed away last year. And I took over the building. And not really changing too much. I'm still running it as a recording studio. And I had mixed emotions about keeping the place. But after we made the Country Music Hall of Fame last year, I decided I was going to keep it. And the elephant in the room is, there's a certain entity that wants it to be a parking lot. Never gonna happen, whether this is approved or not. We've owned the property since 1910. My great-grandfather, Harry Warren Smith, was the first mayor of Jacksonville Beach. So the Smith Mansion was. We sold the whole north side of the block in 1996. And now we're completely surrounded, and I understand the appeal of slowing me down in my tracks. The four offices upstairs have been offices for 47 years. We've been renting them out as such. We have 5 dedicated parking spots that we actually own on the north side of the building. And they're sustainable parking. They meet the criteria. You've probably seen it. It's written down, drawn out. I'm wanting to change that from renting it out as offices, where we've had lots of traffic in and out over the years, as CPAs, attorneys, whoever's rented it from us in the past, to single-family Airbnbs. We're gonna musically theme them, and it's just kind of a neat thing I wanted to do. Anyhow, been neighborly and friendly with everybody since I turned down a lucrative offer. Not everybody's been friendly with me, but it's my right to keep it. I'm going to keep it, and I stay there. And I'd like the city support. All right.
Thank you, sir. Do
That's it.
fellow commissioners have any questions for the applicant?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'll now open the public hearing. Do we have any speakers cards?
Edward Roth.
Please raise your right hand and state your name and address.
Edward Roth, 1428 Avenue South, Jacksonville Beach, Florida.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
And I didn't plan on being first speaker to oppose this motion. I just want to give my input. I live in South Jacksonville Beach. I have an Airbnb to the south of my house. I have one about 2 blocks, 2 houses north of me, and they're annoyance. I get up early in the morning for work. There's loud noise, there's disturbances that happen on a regular basis. I don't report it to the police. I know they have high priorities, but next to a house of worship in a school, I don't think Airbnbs are appropriate, especially when it's 40 feet away from the church entrance and closer to a school. And the other thing you think about is who's going to be renting these Airbnbs? Are they going to get screened? Are there a sexual offender database? Who's going to live in these Airbnbs every weekend? Because that's one of the things I have. Where I live, I have all these transient people who come and go. I don't know who they are or what their motivations are. So I just like the board to consider those factors, especially since there's children here every day. Any other inputs or questions?
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Well,
Wayne Carla.
Please raise your right hand, state your name and address.
Wayne Carlisle, 101 Trudy D. Lane, Jacksonville Beach.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. I represent St. Paul's Catholic Church, who owns adjacent property to Cypress Recording Studio. We do oppose the conditional use application. We had coexisted with his father for many years. There's no major issues between us. Now he wants to turn the recording studio into a multifamily Airbnb. I have the same concerns as a previous speaker. We take great pride in the security of our campus. We have 650 students on that campus. Everybody that goes into our school building is screened, background screened, and like the previous speaker said, we don't know who's going to be in there, who's going to be out of there. They're going to, it's 25 feet from our front door of our church. They have a back deck out there. They're out there partying while we're trying to have worship services. infringement on our rights. We truly don't believe that Mr. Plummer has a significant items. I mean, he definitely does not have the parking. Those parking spots that are marked up there are grass, they're not paved. I believe you have to have paved parking spots for them to count. He doesn't have the proper setbacks. He doesn't have the proper minimum square footage for his request. So nothing he has really warrants a conditional use for a multifamily and Airbnb. So I urge you to decline his request. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Janet DeVoe, did you want to speak tonight? You did not say whether you wanted to speak or address the board or not.
I would totally agree with Mr. Carlisle and the previous speaker. I have nothing to add to it.
Thank you. I have no other speakers. I have speaker cards, but I don't know if the speakers want to address the board. Anyone else want to address the board? Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience who has not filled out a speaker card that wishes to speak? So you can still do that. Thank you. Seeing none, I will now close the public hearing, bring the item back to the board for discussion. Commissioners, I ask that you take this opportunity to ask staff any questions that you may have, and I encourage you to withhold your comments about the item until after we have a motion and a second. Do you have any discussion or questions for staff?
Can you clarify the parking, the setbacks, and the minimum square footage that was addressed?
Sure. Again, these are all things that will be taken up by the Board of Adjustment, but the minimum unit size for RM2 for, I believe they're 2-bedroom units is 900 square feet. So they're asking to do 700 square feet based on there's basically an existing second story that's over half of a studio, so there's a limited amount of space where they can work. So they would need relief from that. As you can see here, they basically don't meet the front setback, which should be 10 feet, but that's the nature of the existing building that's built prior to the code. There are requirements for commercial entities to not back into a right-of-way, so they would be requesting to have back-out spaces versus ones that would have a travel aisle and allow turnaround. And then there's also a setback for parking that's supposed to be 5 feet, which they don't have there. And then they're asking for gravel parking in lieu of paved parking, which again is a requirement that it be paved surface. And then that they have 5 parking spaces in lieu of 10, based on what's there. And the uses, we've calculated they would need 10 parking spaces total. And then they don't have room for any of the typical landscaping associated with the commercial use itself in the front and buffering for the parking area. So they would need relief from that as well.
Thank you.
So just to clarify, we're looking at the use itself, the Board of Adjustment will be looking at.
Correct, yeah. It's basically they have an existing recording studio and they would be adding the 2 multifamily units above.
How many square feet are each unit?
Based on the application for the variance, they'll be 700 square feet each.
An average hotel room is 330.
Say that again.
I think an average hotel room is 330.
And it's gonna be 700 and they're varying from what, Mr. Copeland?
900.
It's 900 square feet minimum for a 2-bedroom unit, and there'll be 2 2-bedroom units.
Do we have any other questions for staff? Or any other general discussion? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
I guess I have a question for the Christian, I mean, could it be a one single unit instead of two?
Through the chair, actually, no. In C2, you can't have what's referred to as an auxiliary dwelling unit, which would be a single apartment over a commercial unit. So to do multifamily, our code requires you have a minimum of 2 units.
But I do have, you're applying that question to me as well. I discussed this with Christian, refreshing my memory, Christian. We have opened up the downstairs. What was once my private office is no longer my private office. And the lobby is no longer a reception area. We turned that into to part of it. So it is, you're looking at the whole downstairs front of the building, you're looking at an additional 380 something square feet. And I don't see anything in the, unless I'm incorrect, I don't see anything saying that it can't be 2 stories. It seems like everyone's just focusing on the upstairs portion. And the parking has been, parking there, they said it was grass. My father had heart disease in the last 3 years of his life, had a hard time maintaining the place, and he did let the grass grow through the gravel parking that's been there for 47 years. But some Roundup and a little bit of TLC will take care of that. Right now, as I'm in the construction out there, I'm maintaining a dumpster out there, so I moved all the parking buffers. But to say it's, I don't know about the setback of, we were 18 feet. How many feet off the front of the road do you need to be?
For commercial use, it would be 10 feet.
Okay, we're 18 feet off. So,
So it's not one of your variances.
No, it is. The building is 1 foot from the property line.
the parking is,
I'm sorry?
the parking's part of the variance, right? Next week?
Yeah, it's several things, though. The front of the building being too close to the street is one of them.
Oh, okay, I was thinking from the road, I apologize, it's actually 2.5 feet, scared about that. But, I would like to say that, in our clause, we're not gonna be allowing any partying there. We've been recording music there for 47 years, and no one drank when Leonard Skinner was there, 38 Special and Molly Hatchet. Okay, those were some pretty wild guys. But, I'm a decent person, I'm a family man, I'm a father. I'm not gonna have any riffraff around my building. Okay? And right now, we have 1 to 2 cars there a day on average. That's verifiable. So I'm not going to,
Do you live close to the building?
no, I live in Palm Valley.
Uh,
I come to work every day. I'm there every day. I've worked there late oftentimes at night, recording music. A lot of times people get off work and then they come to record. This isn't Nashville, so it's not people's daytime job, so to speak. The dreamers come in after 5. But, so anyways, that's it.
So, Mr. Copley, can I confirm that, I believe what we just heard is that there was additional square footage on the ground floor that could conceivably be part of the residential? Is that?
I would have to talk to the building official. I mean, typically, if it's a unit, they have to be separated from the commercial uses, and they have to be accessible internally. So if there's a staircase that leads from one unit to the other, up and down, and it would have proper fire protection and things like that, it could be. I haven't seen the building plans at all, so I'm not sure how it was proposed, but that would have to go through the building official and the fire marshal before we could take that into consideration.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
We're due the chair.
Discussion, yes.
Mr. Popery, seems like we spent the last little bit that we were all discussing this, talking about the variances. Can you quickly run us through 343D11 and tell us exactly what we're judging here? I think I know, but I'd like to hear that.
That'd be helpful.
So 343D11 is the conditional use for multifamily in C2. And so having the 2 units in addition to the recording studio.
So it meets all the requirements. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
In that case, I'll make a motion to approve.
David Dahl,
Yes.
Colleen White,
No.
Justin Lehrman,
Yes.
Emily Stover,
Yes.
Margaret Murray.
Yes. Sorry, it's been approved.
Thank you very much. I appreciate y'all's time.
Mr. Copley, can you take us to PC 28-22?
So your next item is PC 28-22, it's typo. It's a conditional use application. The owner is Del Boca Vista LLC. The applicant and agent is Christopher Olazik. All right. The property is located at 308 South 3rd Street. It's a conditional use application for the transfer of ownership for a previously approved medical marijuana treatment center dispensing facility for a property located in the commercial limited C1 zoning district pursuant to section 34-342D3 of the Jacksonville Beach Land Development Code. The property is located at 308 3rd Street South, previously the Medmen location. The applicant will be Green Century Holdings LLC. The subject property is located on the northwest corner of the intersection of 3rd Street South and 3rd Avenue South on the west side of 3rd Street South. The applicant purchased the assets of the former MedMen location and intends to reopen the facility to once again operate the site as a medical marijuana treatment center dispensing facility, a retail establishment, at the subject property. The applicant was advised by staff that conditional use approval would be required for the use. Adjacent uses include a professional office to the west, a restaurant and drive-through to the north, a medical office to the east across 3rd Avenue South, and a retail auto parts store to the south. At least 4 other establishments exist within the current city. Dispensing facilities must comply with strict state of Florida regulations for access and security. Adjacent uses should not be negatively impacted. The proposed use of medical marijuana treatment center dispensing facility is consistent with the C1 zoning standards and is consistent with the surrounding commercial and institutional development. Based on the provided application and analysis stated in the report, the Planning and Development Department recommends approval of PC 2822.
Thank you, Mr. Copley. Do my fellow board members have any ex parte communication to disclose on this item?
No.
Thank you. Would the applicant please come forward to be sworn in and give any presentation?
Please raise your right hand, state your name and address.
Chris Palashik, 1112 North Flagler Drive, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. May it please the commission. Old habits are hard to break. So thank everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. It's December. It's the most wonderful time of year. We came in tonight and noticed the decorations that you have outside. It's absolutely fantastic. So my name is Chris Palashik. I'm the Chief Legal Officer for Green Century Holdings. I'm joined today by Brady Knopp, our Chief Executive Officer, who's also an attorney, and Layla Foss, who's the General Manager of the store. As we heard, we bought the assets from an entity called MedMen that received conditional use approval 4 years and 1 day ago yesterday. And so we come here as folks that want to be trusted partners of the community. We want to work with all of you. We want to work with law enforcement. We want to work with the fire department. We've been fortunate enough to open up medical marijuana treatment center dispensing facilities in 6 other locations around the state of Florida. And if you sense the excitement, we're chomping at the bit, and we hope that our conditional use application is approved tonight. If so, we will be open for business to serve the patients in the community tomorrow. That's how excited we are. In terms of the requirements, what we'd like to start out with is we think that nothing's changed over the last 4 years. The conditional use application was granted. We have come in. We think we know how to do things better than our predecessor. As I mentioned, we have a full staff at the location that is ready. They are, Layla is here to hopefully send good wishes back to everybody else and say that we're open for business tomorrow. A few things to note. We heard that the recommendation of the staffing committee was such that, of staff, was that the conditional use should be granted. 2 things to add. In the summary of the staff report, we heard about the incredible oversight that medical marijuana treatment centers have from the Department of Health, Office of Medical Marijuana. And that's true. The regulation is so stringent. We welcome it. We have a great relationship with the regulators, and we are a company that's not going to do anything to get on the wrong side of them. I have two documents, if I may approach, that I don't know made it into our packet. The first is we had the fire marshal come out and note some things that they wanted us to fix. We did all that, and so we have the passing report from the fire marshal. I also provided a copy of the authorization from the Department of Health, Office of Medical Marijuana Use, that says that the way that the system in Florida works is you have to receive a variance. We have our variance from the Department of Health, and so when you think about checking the boxes, the fire marshal has given us the green light, our state regulator has given us the green light, we have taken over, and we simply want to step into the shoes, metaphorically and literally, in terms of what MedMen has received, and hopefully, knock on wood, start serving patients in Florida in the community tomorrow. We're ready to go and super excited to be. Again, I don't use the word partner, but a partner with all of you and the rest of the community. So, permission to approach, I can. So the first one is the fire marshal's report. Exhibit A. Exhibit B.
The key or?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the second is the authorization, the variance being granted by the Department of Health. So when I continue, my presentation is really founded on, I guess, 4 themes. Stepping in the shoes of MedMen. The second step would be that the staff has taken a look at the requirements and recommended that the conditional use approval be granted. We have the requisite approval by the state regulator, and we also have the fire marshal's blessing. We hope only that we can get your blessing as well, and if so, we are committed to being a trusted partner in the community with doors open tomorrow. I'm here to answer any questions. I'm sure Brady or Layla could answer any questions that the commission may have as well, and thank you all for your time.
Questions for the applicant, his colleagues?
It's good that there's not a church across the street from you.
From the sounds of it, yeah.
Yeah. I'll have any questions.
I'll now open the public hearing. Do we have any speaker cards? Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak who has not filled out a speaker card? Just being sure. So with that, I'll close the public hearing.
Thank you.
And bring the item back to the board for discussion. Do we have questions for staff?
Only question I have is how long is it not operational?
I'm not entirely sure. I know,
You might know that.
Couple of years.
yeah, MedMen came in to the county with a bunch of facilities and they weren't open very long. So it's been a bit, the building's been vacant.
Any questions for staff? Discussion? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second. May we have a roll call, please?
Colleen White,
Yes.
Justin Lehrman,
Yes.
David Dahl,
Yes.
Emily Stouffer,
Yes.
Margo Murray.
Yes. With that, sir, your application has been approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Did you guys drive up from, are you
We
staying
came up,
here?
yeah.
What?
Yeah, we came up this afternoon.
Oh, really? You're
Yeah.
staying here tonight?
No, we'll head back.
Medicated, right?
When I get home, I can promise you 1,000%.
About time for my medicine.
Yeah, we'll be back up. If you guys, we'll be back up. We're having a little welcoming party that Jay and the guys are throwing us at Pete's on next Friday night, and we'll be at the store for a little music and grand opening on Saturday.
Nice.
So
Nice.
we're excited. We operated that the one that was called One Plan on Beach Boulevard. So that was us. We sold that one. We're back. We're
Why'd you
excited to
sell
do-
that?
Yeah.
Why did you sell that?
I didn't want to. We were a public company though, and my shareholders wanted to sell. So I fought them as long as I could, and they wanted to sell. So we'll have 3 stores in Jacksonville proper. 1 in 5 Points, one in off San Jose Boulevard, and then this one. So it's a
What's
big
this
part
one
of
going
what
to
we
be
do.
called?
Huh?
What's it going to be called?
Sunburn.
Sunburn?
Sunburn.
Okay. I knew a lot of people that did One Plan.
Okay.
Liked it a lot. It's the cleanest one.
That was my first one I've ever done on our own.
So is this gonna be similar?
Very similar, high quality, we kept our whole team together, so everybody left one plant, and when I walked out, everyone came with us and we stayed together.
You should sell aloe.
Huh?
You should sell aloe.
Exactly. Our whole, I love this community too, I'm a big surfer, so for me, I gotta go visit the Jacksonville stores, a common thing in my house, because my family knows I'm coming to get in the water. So, not as good surf before Lauderdale.
We'll have the final order out probably by the end of the week.
Okay.
So we'll turn that in for the business license, if you haven't gotten that already.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all
Take
very
care,
much.
guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one, man.
Too, good luck, see you soon.
Thank you.
Mr. Copley, do we have any planning department brief?
Just to let you know, we do have an application for the first January meeting. We have a rezoning coming in, so.
Tonight?
I'm not, yeah.
That was it, just took it off my calendar.
Yeah, it was in review and, the director wasn't sure if it was gonna be sufficient, but they managed to get everything correct on time, so we were, just the way things lined up, we weren't sure we could get advertised in time, but they did, so.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Copley. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.